Hey guys, welcome back to another video where I'm doing some live analysis on the foreign exchange market. It is Monday. We usually do these on Sunday, but I actually just got back from a trip. We went to Montana. It was really nice.
Hopping on the train. See ya.
And now I'm back in the office, finally able to do some more technical analysis and get back onto the charts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through some major markets to look at. In fact, what we'll do is we'll pop them up on the screen now so you can see kind of an idea of which markets we're going to be covering. You can skip ahead if you would like to see any of these popped up on the screen now. Okay, so before we get too far into this, we are actually doing a sale on our group. If you are interested in joining the A1 trading community and you have been waiting or you've been interested but not sure if you should try it out, well, we are doing a 25% off sale for YouTube followers here today. So make sure if you are interested, use the link down below in the description. Use the code YTVIP, that's YouTube VIP. It's going to get you 25% off your membership if you are interested. You get access to all the trades that I am personally sharing in real time, as well as our other analysts in the group. You also get access to our live trading chat room, which is a bunch of other traders who are like-minded and for the most part pretty wholesome individuals, chatting and sharing discussion. We've also just added live webinars, which is crazy cool and we're really excited about. We have a guy named Joe. He is new to A1, but he is an absolutely fantastic trader and coach and is sharing stuff on a regular basis. So if you have any interest, check it out. Without further ado, let's jump into the video and see what we got on these charts this week. So EURUSD actually making a move to the upside, and really the story this week seems to be USD bearish, at least for now. We'll see if that continues, but the idea is the US dollar has been very weak, and things like the euro and the pound and gold have actually been seeing some strength. So let's see what we can get ourselves into. We're looking at the daily chart currently on EURUSD, and here's the big resistance point that I see currently. So we have this overall upward trend when it comes to euro dollar, right? We've got the upward trend on the daily chart. We are above the 200-day. In fact, we are also over the 20-day. So we've got these moving averages moving in our favor to the bullish side, but we still have some resistance on the counter trend that we did see. So we've been seeing some topping points on euro dollar, and if this decides to break out, that's where I think things could get interesting. So if we see something this way, something like this week, I have an interest in looking to get long on euro dollar, but preferably I would be waiting for a break of this kind of counter trend that we do see on the euro dollar. So that's what I'll be looking out for. That's kind of my biggest pick. There's not really too much else that I like here. The big idea is basically we just have this upward trend. We saw the counter trend kind of forming, but we are still in the context of a longer term bullish move here on the euro dollar. Now, if things decide to get bearish again, I probably wouldn't be interested in selling right away. And the reason for this, I think that there might actually be some counter trends. So for example, if this downtrend continues and we see this hold, there very well actually could be some setups to look out for, but there's nothing as interesting to me as being bullish on the euro dollar at a key break. Now again, if something happens where we break through a major level of support like this, there very well could be some short-term momentum to the downside to think about, but the long-term trend is still to the upside. So my favorite sort of trade setups are looking for, support to hold or resistance to break and looking for some sort of continuation play. So that's what I'll be looking out for on the euro dollar. Now, much the same on GBPUSD, we have an overall upward trend. We did actually hold the 200-day beautifully. So if you remember, we talked about this. We said probably going to come tag that 200-day moving average, and that's going to be the test of the overall upward trend. Well, it held beautifully. You can actually see in this case, right, this upward trend held just fine, and we actually see overall momentum still holding to the upside there. Now, in fact, we also even held that 20-day really nicely just recently. So we'll see if this wants to hold. The big thing, I guess, is short term. If you're looking at maybe even the 4-hour chart might be better to look at for this. A break above this level to me looks really interesting. This level more specifically being this range right around here, the 1.30 level really. If price is able to break through this structure, to me, that signals more bullishness for the pound dollar. Now, I think that this could lead to a retest. If we do see the break, the most logical place for price to want to try and drift would probably be that recent high, right? So if the trend just decides to continue, trend continuation concepts basically rely on the idea of new highs being formed, right? Well, if this is our previous high, it's probably reasonable to think about the idea that if we start to see the break, if we start to see momentum picking up again, price very well could be headed back to tag that high, and if the trend is really ready to continue, even break through that and get to a new high, right? If you've ever heard the basic concepts of trend identification, it's in a downtrend, you're looking for lower lows and lower highs, right? And when you are looking at an uptrend, you're looking for higher highs and higher lows, right? That just shows demand. It shows buyers are willing to push price higher and higher. And in this case, that is what we are looking out for on the pound dollar. Let's move on to gold really quick. I do want to see what's going on with gold in reference to the dollar today. So I am bullish on the gold market right now. Let's see. Let's start fresh here on this analysis. So again, similar to what we just had on the screen, you can actually see we did have this kind of downtrend momentum overall, right? We had this on the daily chart. I'm sorry, on the 4-hour chart, but on the daily chart, you can actually see overall trend still bullish and looking for a similar setup to euro dollar. My favorite ideas are looking to be long above breaks and structure, you know, kind of breaking down to the upside. If that happens, again, very similar concept to what we talked about on pound dollar. It seems pretty natural for price to want to try and get back to those high points. Now, I could be wrong about this, and that's really going to come down to whether or not this counter trend really is just a counter trend or if it becomes a bigger downtrend. Now, if that happens, we'll reevaluate. But for the most part, my approach right now is looking for bullishness on the retests of support. So that's kind of my main idea, and also looking for, of course, breakouts to the upside. Really just looking for continuation of the overall trend. I try and keep it simple with my trading, and yeah. So let's move on to something else, USDJPY. See what else we've got going on. You can see this one's still drifting lower. Not too much here other than, you know, I've been bearish on the US dollar, so I think it seems very plausible that this line of resistance could continue to hold. And one of the big trades that I do see also is a break below the 104.5 level. So if this were to happen, this could be really interesting for the US dollar. So something like this, where you get a break underneath structure and looking for continuation, could very well be a really nice play. I guess the more conservative approach might just be to look for retests of this trend line and to put a stop in place that makes sense, you know, risking small and looking to try and, you know, have as much of the move as possible by, you know, protecting yourself with a stop, right? If I were to enter this trade on the sell side around here, I could put a stop that seems reasonable, maybe right around here. This is just a rough cut, quick version, and looking for some sort of continuation lower. Now, if that were to happen, how I would play it would personally be to trail that stop into profit and to see if it wants to keep running. I do like the idea of being bearish on the US dollar still, so that to me has some promise. Let's see what else we can look at real quick. We'll do one without the US dollar in it. Let's take a look at GBPJPY, which is another popular pair. Very crazy moving pair, so you have to be careful with this one. It can move quite a bit very quickly. Now, similar to pound dollar, this one has been in an uptrend. We overall have been in a downtrend, like long term, but short term we've seen a pretty solid uptrend. So there's a couple lines here that have some notable factors to them. I would say also this level on the lower side. So what we can see here on the daily chart is we really have kind of a consolidation between the high points and the low point of this move. So to me, I think that there's possibly not really anything super interesting right now, but if there was a trade that formed from a break of this sort of key consolidation zone, that to me would be interesting to look for opportunities, right? Something like you know, buying a retest or selling a retest if we were to break lower. So those are a couple ideas that I have on pound yen. Guys, that's all I've got. Remember, if you are interested in the community that we offer, it is currently 25% off using the code that we shared originally. We'll pop it up on the screen here at the end. YTVIP gets you a discount off of the group of 25% off for a limited time. So check that out if you are interested, and hope to see some of you guys in there. And thanks so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you back in the next video.